I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so yesterday we already seen, right, array concept, right? So we have learned the 1D array, but we have a 2D array. So how to work with 2D array? So we will discuss. Okay, so I think my screen is visible, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this is 2D array. 2D array means it is an array of arrays. Okay, so we have a one array and we are storing in the another array. That is called 2D array. So what is the advantage of this array? So the main advantage of this approach is it will improve our memory utilization. Okay, so what and how it will work, I will explain to you. Okay, so how this will work? So this is your 2D array, right? So how it will work? I will explain through diagram so you guys are able to understand. Okay, so now please mute all of you in your side. So here how it will work, right? So we know that, right? So 2D array we have a this two brackets that is called 2D array, and this is your referenced variable. So what will happen here? So new means it will create an object. So by using new keyword, it will create an object like yesterday we have seen, right? So it will create an object like that. And here, how many size is there? So we can see this is your dynamic. This is your dynamic. This value I'm storing here. So I will come on that part. So here we have a location is 2. We have a only 2 location. So what happened here? This 0 and 1. Okay, so this is the 2 location. In index 1, so this is your referenced variable t, so a1. So here we are holding this object. So inside this index 1, we are storing another type of an array, you can see. So this one is your dynamic. I'm not providing any hard coded, means I don't know, you know means user how many size of array is going to store here. So what will happen, how this value will be stored? So again what happened, this is your new keyword. So again object will create, how many size we have, size is 2. This is your size is 2, right? This is size is 2. And here what is the value? So value I'm not going to store here. So 0. So by default all the value is null because this is your object type of an array, right? So all the value is null here. Got it, right? So here where you are storing, so this is your referenced variable. Okay, and where you are storing in index 0, so it will store inside this. So yesterday we have seen this object will not store directly, this referenced variable will store. Okay, this reference variable will stored. Again you can see inside this index 1 you are storing this value. The index is how many size, 3 size. Again what will happen, one object will be created. Inside this we have how many location, we have a 3 location, right? 1 0. Okay, so this is your 3 location, 0 1 2. Okay, so this also value is null, so we are not storing any value. So here we have a 1 0 1 2. So it will store here 1 0 and 1 2. How this will work, this 2D array? Got it, right? So this will indicate another, how many size providing, which is you are going to store the array. So this is, I did not do hard coded. If you will do hard coded, that size only you have to provide, but this size is dynamic. We don't know how much, how many size we are going to create for this storing the array, right? So this is, 2D array, how it will work. We can see this 2D array in Selenium, where you can apply this 2D array. Okay, this 2D array we can see in the Selenium where you can apply. So just I am printing this value. Okay, so we are only printing this value, so it will only print hash code, right? We did not store anything, so it will print only hash code, right? So a of 0, a of 1, so this hash code value is printing because this is your object is nothing but this is a random number generated by the JVM. So this will print this hash code. Got it, right? So this is your simple array. Just I have given the example to, if you will print this, then what will happen? You will get only hash code. So this is, 2D array, how it will work, but we can see in the coming session. In Selenium we will apply where you can use this 2D array. Another array is called, that is called anonymous array. So anonymous array, where you can use nameless array, are called anonymous array, or any array object without any reference. So here we don't have any reference. It will also same like, 1D array we have already seen, right? So 1D array, but where we can use this, right? In coding, where you can use. So this is the 1D array and this is the 2D array, anonymous array. So what will happen? Sometime we have to take the parameter, right? Sometime we have to take the parameter. So this parameter is, when you are writing the code, we are providing the parameter, right? So here we will use anonymous array to passing the argument. Got it, right? So it depend upon your project requirement. As per the project requirement, we will use all the array types, right? So you can see I have created one functionality, or you can tell we have created one methods, and we are passing this parameter as a this. Got it, right? So this is the parameters, but how to pass the argument? You can directly pass the argument without reference variable, right? So this is your method, and we are calling this method by using this is your static method, right? So we can call a static method directly. So what we are going to do here, inside this, just we are printing all this value inside this, whatever the array you have stored, right? Got it, right? I think you guys know this is the basics code, but here I have used anonymous array as a uh, argument, right? So main method, then main method control will come into main method. Then what will happen when control will go here? So this is our method. So it will search where it is, then it will go here and it will execute this line. I think when we are writing, right, void, same thing we are going to do, right? A static void m1 when you are creating this, right? So we are passing this parameter, right? I think this is not working properly. Let me. So what I want to tell you, don't confuse. This is basics parameterization in method. Okay. So when you are creating any method, right? That method is like that. Just I want to tell you. So we can also pass this parameter as a array type, right? So here what the value you can pass? Simple, you can pass here integer value, but here we have a array type, right? This is your array type, so same thing we have to pass the output here array type. So here we can pass directly, you should not. You can also create the array, simple array, and you can pass this value, but why we can increase the code, line of the code. So better to use this anonymous array. So this is called your anonymous array. Got it, right? Okay, so one more question, one example is there. So we have learned we cannot provide size as a double type or floating point floating type, but we can cast it, then it will work it. Okay, so what will happen here? I will use here casting. So casting I did not teach you. Coming session we will teach you. So when you are providing this, right? So now if you will compile this code, we will get error, right? This is your double type. We cannot do that. Okay, but here we can also cast this. Okay, by using this cast operator. So this is your cast operator. So let me comment this, otherwise it will not work, right? So what I did here, I have done this casting. This is your cast operator. Okay, this is your cast operator in which type you want to convert, integer type or any data type, it will convert. So this is called your cast operator. So this is the separate topic of casting. So coming session we will learn this casting. So we can convert this double type into the integer type. Okay. LEN, again the spelling is wrong, huh? Maybe I getting this LENGTH, spelling is wrong.
Not the correct,
I
Mohit.
think
It's
it's
correct.
correct. It's correct.
Correct, right? It should be give cannot find the symbol. Okay, 1 second. Oh, sorry. Actually, this is the T1, right? Hmm. Okay, so it will find the length before we are getting, right? So length is 3. Got it, right? So we have converted. So this is the simple cast operator. Casting. Okay, so not a anything, but we can do like that. So if you have a char type of an array, so we can store one variable to another variable. Okay, so these are the basic things. Okay, when you are using the array concept, so you cannot stuck anywhere if you are doing any practice or working in your real time. Okay, but they will not ask much question this type of the scenario. They will ask only what is the difference between array and collection and your logical programming. I shared yesterday the link, so you can work on that. But these are the your knowledge purpose for your real time purpose. If the requirement will come from like we have to do like that, so you are able to do. Okay, so here what we have done, just we have a store this and we are storing this in one variable, we are storing inside this another variable. That's it, we are not doing anything. So char type of an array you can use like that. Okay, so this is one example. So this is the another example. So people already know this. Okay, so this is little bit you can learn something here. So here what you can learn, actually this is also I will teach you in the coming session, this double equal operator. Okay, what is the use of this double equal operator? So we have a two char type of an array, you can say c1 c and d. In this two char type of an array, I'm going to compare this referenced. Okay, so what the output will come here, true or false? This double equal operator will return true and false boolean value. So double equal operator here it will return false. But here content are same, means whatever the element you have a store inside this array, in both array having the same element, but it will return false. Why it will return false? Because double equal operator is not comparing this content. Double equal operator is comparing your this referenced variable. If you will find this reference variable of the hash code, then what will happen here, we will get the different value. So that's why this will come false. Got it, right? So both number is different, it is not comparing this content. So double equal operator we will explore in your string chapter. Okay, so we will learn What is the difference between double equal operator and equals methods? So this is the interview question and very interesting topic, right? So we will explore this topic in your string, or we will learn in your object class in the coming session. Okay, so this things is not much important. So just here, what type of an array and what you can store. Okay, primitive type, we can store primitive type. Okay, object type of an array, we can store any type. So leave this 2 point, not required for that. Abstract class and interface I did not teach you and not required for that. Okay, so we have to learn two things here important. Primitive type, you can store primitive type. Okay, and object type we have already discussed yesterday, right? Object type of the array, object type of an array, you can store any type. Okay, so here one more cases are there. Array variable assignment. So what do you meaning of that? I will execute this code, then I will show you the theory, then you are able to understand. Okay, so now, okay, so here one twist and one note you can tell. So here what will happen, this is the integer type and this is your char type of an array. We have an integer type and we have a char type of an array. So what will happen if we will try to store inside this integer type, I store, we have a different variable in integer type. I store same, right? This will store inside this. Just I'm commenting this. It will work, no problem at all. Okay, if I will compile this, we are able to compile and we are able to execute. Okay, so now, but if we will try to store this char type inside this integer type, it will not work. Okay, incompatible type. In array concept, integer to char we cannot store, but in the simple way we can store this. Simple data type, we can do that. This is your array type and we are storing inside this integer type, so it will work, but in array it will not work. So this is the another point to learn this here. Okay, so this thing I have written, element level promotion are not applicable at array level, but for example char element can be promoted into int type but cannot be converted into the char type. We cannot store inside this integer type of an array. Okay, so what is applicable and what is not applicable, here we have written. If we will store char to integer, it will work. Char type of an array or in type of an array, it will not work. Int to double, it will work, it will not work. This all the things will not work. If we will try to store, it will not work. So this is your inheritance concept. So coming session we will discuss this, so I'm not exploring this now, inheritance concept. Okay, one more. Okay, why I have written, because this will use here. Okay, it will not work in my system, you can try in your system, will work. Okay, so what happened, you can store. So when you are writing the logical programming, this type of the scenario will come to storing one type to another type, doing the casting one type to another type. So that's why we have written in object class type array, child class type array can be assigned to be a parent class type of an array. So we know, right, object class is your root class and this is your supermost class in Java, right? So if you are creating any class, object class is your super class. So what I have mentioned in this point, this is your subclass. String also the subclass of object. So this referenced variable we can use in superclass type referenced variable. Got it right? What do you meaning of superclass and subclass? So we are providing the relationship between the class A. This is your class A right? And this is your class B extend. Okay, class B extend class A. So what happened? We are providing the relationship between class A and class B. So this is called your superclass and this is called your subclass. If you will access this class only, if you have a here variable or method or any other members, how to access the superclass member, right? So you should not only be can access through, means providing the relationship between the one class to another class. So when we can access this class, we should not save this class. I will save this dot java only. This file we will save, this class we will save. Then when you will compile this code and execute this code, then compiler and JVM start your execution from subclass. Okay, so what will happen? Might be it is a static or non-static. It depend upon. If you have a non-static, you have to create a object and you can access the data from the one class to another class. Got it, right? So you should not save this class. So what happen when control will come? By using this extend keyword, then control will go in the your super class. But here one more class is there, that is called object class. Okay, this is your object class. This is already overridden by default. So one more classes are there. So this is your supermost class. So here what I have mentioned, this is your child class, or you can tell this is your subclass of, this reference you can store inside this superclass referenced variable. Got it, right? So this is the things I have written here. That's it. This is another concept. Got it, right? You can execute in my code, it will not work. Okay, you can try to execute in your system, it will work for you. Okay, so whenever one more concept are there, like just we are assigning to, one type to another type, that's it. We have learned the concept what is an array only yesterday, right? In array you cannot get much things, but and even we are not using in the real time array concept, we are using collection only. But interview they will ask many question, and then mostly question come from your logical programming, how to remove duplicates element from array, right? How to sort the element from array, this type of the question. How to display only unique element in array from by using the array. Okay, this type of the question they will ask, and I already made the video for all the things, right? You can watch my playlist. Okay, so here one
Uh,
more concept
Mohit bhai,
here.
I have one question.
Mhm.
I have one question. Like this will be the interview for the automation testing. So they will ask question regarding the Java, like that is a concept regarding for the Java, how we are removing the double of the like what you had said earlier. That is a all like they will ask question in for matlab like in from the Java,
Yes,
but it will be the like interview for the automation testing, na? So they will they should ask question regarding. I'm just like this is my curiosity. I was clearing my little doubt, nothing else.
you have to write the logic, right, in Selenium while doing the code, huh? So how that
Okay,
logic will implement by using the Java concept, right?
okay, got it.
Okay, so if you don't know Java, then how you can in they will not ask, right? So logical thing it will work for both when Java development or automation profile, right? So they will check your logical skill.
Okay.
Got it, right? So we have learned Selenium, right? So we are writing some logic inside this in Selenium while developing the framework. I have shown you one a small framework, but if we will go in the real time, be having the many methods, many classes, and you also write the logic over there. Got it, right? So that's why this is important. That's why they, because in Selenium don't have a much logical stuff, right? So they are looking for you are good in the logical programming.
Okay, got it.
Okay, in the real time scenario, we having the many logics you have to develop in Selenium also. Okay, so it
Like
is like
during
we
the
can
testing, we have create our logics. That is just a testing. Like there is a developer
no no no
create a
no
logic.
automation testing only name is testing, right? You have to write the code. Automation testing profile only name is testing, but you have to write the code. Before the market was different, now the market was different. Okay, see
Got it.
testing means why the before the we don't have a much automation in the market. When you will tell the automation means it will come your programming. Got it right? So now they are not looking for any manual task in any profile. They are looking for you have everything is automated. Got it right? So if you are implementing like this is your framework, so inside this framework, if you don't have a concept, then how to write this code in Selenium? Got it? So
Yeah.
that's why Java concept is required for Selenium. And in Selenium, they will ask you the only because Selenium is only library, right? Everything is implemented. WebDriver is already there. All the methods are already there. So at least they will ask to you, do you know method concept? Do you know variable concept? Do you know collection? If you don't know, then how to use in Selenium? In Selenium, they will ask the topic, how to handle drop down, how to handle radio button, right? So that is the Selenium concept, but that concept is developed on your Java only, right? If you will go in the Selenium library. So that's why they are looking for more focus on your Java skill. Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
So don't think like that. So both are important. Okay. So for your interview purpose, Java is much important. And your after joining your company, you have to work on Selenium. So both are important for your point of view. But they are not teaching much Java. If you will go for any another testing courses, that they will not teach you within 45 days. They will complete the Selenium course. But my observation, we are not going as a fresher, right? So as a experience, they are expecting more, right? They are expecting much more to you, and we have to crack the interview. So as per my observation, you know, so I have seen the people are stucking mainly the automation test engineer. They are learning basics Java is required in the market, right? But they will go in the interview before 5 year basic Java is required, but they are not looking for basics Java right now. And they can also sometime assign the development task also. So they are expecting you have a development, your knowledge must have like the development level. Okay, so how you can reach over there? Just you have to work on your logical programming. So many things, whatever teaching Java in my syllabus, you can use little bit in Selenium. But your interview purpose, this will very helpful to crack your interview. And you, after getting the job, if you will have a big code and you have to debug the code and you have to understand the code, that will help you to over there. If you have a if you will touch all the topic properly, you will not stuck anywhere because you know the concept, right? And after debugging the code, you can understand all the flow of this code. Got it? So here just we have a two array, a and b. Just again we are just assigning the value from a to b, and I'm trying to execute that. So b can learning here how to assign this value, right? So here you can say b have a two array. So inside this array, what I did, two arrays there. So this a I have a store inside this b. If we will print b, then what the value will print? This value will print, right? This value will print. Okay, so if we will compile this code, okay, So we are getting this, all this value, right? So same thing I have repeated here. If you want, I will also execute this. Okay. So just what I did here, this v value I store here. This b, this v value I have stored inside this a type. So when you will print this a, then this value will print. So this thing I am doing here. Okay. So if you will compile this code and execute, got it, right? So these things I'm doing here. So your interview purpose, right? Your concept wise, what is an array, what is the disadvantage and advantage, how to create an array. So these are the interview question, but your logical programming you have to work on. I have shared that, Java concept of the day. So you can make one notebook. Okay. You can make one notebook for logical, not for theory. Theory, my notes is enough. Okay. Don't spend your time on the theory to writing all the things. You can spend your time theory for practicing, but your logical programming you have to write the code, because in front of them you have to write the code for. So that will, having the your practice to the writing the code on your notebook. And you can make one notebook, and how much you can do the practice, and you can write that code on your notebook. In the future, after getting job after 2 year, if you want to again switch the company, again you have to learn, right? So that will help you in the future. We cannot learn again and again same thing, right? So you can make the one separate, at least you having the 100 logical programming question in your notebook. So in the future you can do. Yeah, yesterday I have shown you, I was telling to you guys, and how to do the debug the code, right? If you are not able to understand, might be here any Java program is there, because this Selenium is not. Yeah. Okay. So this is just, I'm not going to explain this code. Just I'm telling you how to debug this. Okay. So this is one code is there, right? You copied this code. You are not able to understand this code from, I have shared that link, right? Java concept of the day. So I'm tell you how you can implement your logic yourself. Okay, so this is like I told you, you have to do the practice for any code, and you are going to do the practice for, go here, interview question. Okay, you are trying to do the practice for some question and you are not able to understand. Okay, so how to understand yourself? Okay, so what you can do, if you don't know how to install the Eclipse, so like that, this is your code, but you are not able to understand this logic, whatever the logic they have written. So how to understand this logic? In Edit Plus, we are using for practice purpose, but in the real time we use the Eclipse. Okay, we are not using Edit Plus software in your real time, because this is the logic they have written and you are not able to understand. Then what we can do, we can debug this code line by line. How to debug this code? Okay, so this is your code. This is, we cannot debug this code here. Okay, this is for your practice purpose we are using, but in the real time, if you have a big framework and you are getting some error, then how to find that error, and sorry, how to fix this error, right? So we know, right? So this is, see what we have learned till now. We have learned, you can see, you can understand the code by learning this concept. Okay, so this is one logic is written, how to do, remove the duplicate, or how to count the character which is available inside this string. Okay, so I did not teach you what is the hash code and all, but I'm going to tell you how to debug this code. You can see how, where the execution is just starting from main method, right? So we have a logic called duplicate character. Duplicate means we have to count this value, right? We are counting this value, or we are removing this value, or what else. Okay, so execution will start from here, right? So this, so you can if you will do double click, You can see one debug point is there, right? Or we can, from where you want to debug this code, okay? Or you can write here also. You can see we have a toggle breakpoint. You can just click over there, so it will come, right? And after that you can do right click, and where is this? You can see one option is there, debug ads. We are not running this, we are going to debug. Click on this debug as. Okay, so it will come, some this pop-up will come. You can do no. If you will do yes, then again one more screen will come. You can try on your side, but you can do no. You can see now how it's we can see this. You can see. So we can see here we have a two option here. You can see a step over and a step into, right? A step over and a step into. Got it, right? Or you can press a step 5 means this is your step into and this is your step over, and this is one more, a step return means. So I'm going to press F6. Got it, right? So it will debug this code. So now you can move over the cursor here. You can see this, you will get all the value also. So this is empty hash code, sorry, empty hash map, right? If you will mouse over here, you will get all the value how it is working. So what I'm going to do here, this you can see mouse over. So whatever the input we have provided, you can see we are able to see here, right? We are passing the input means parameter, where it is coming from. This is coming from this argument, right? This argument. Got it, right? So like that we can understand our code, how this code will work, right? So this is the input. What I'm going to do for next, I'm going to do this a string type converted, we are going to convert into the char type. So our control is here. If we will press again control sorry, F6, it is executed. Now this a string type, it is converted into the char type, right? You can see. You got it, right? So how this code we are, it is visible to you, and same thing after debugging you can write the code and you can debug on your notebook. Okay, you have a one why some red color pen or blue color pen or green color pen. Same thing you can write, how this code is working on your system. Same you can write a step by step in your notebook, and you can understand how this logic is working, right? My question is, where you will stuck? You will not stuck anywhere. If one code, if you are spending 1 week, then you have a more clarity. If you will do another code, then again the another clarity will come. So day by day your logic will implement. Now we can see, and we are typing the code. After few days, if you have understanding, then you can write the code yourself. So like that you have to work on that, right? So it will debug. You are able to see all the things how it will work. Got it, right? You can see this. Now we are going to use this for loop. So for loop, what the value we are getting here? So this is your for each loop. So here we have a first j, means first iteration. This first iteration, it will check it is available or not. So I'm not going to discuss this because this is the implemented on the hash code. So you will get, you will not understand much more. But after completing your collection, again I will explain same code how it will, this code will work. But you will get some idea how to debug this code and how to understand, right? So if we will press control 6, it will go for a step by steps, right? So like that you can do the debug. This is the output console we are getting, right? So any code, even this code also you can debug, okay, in Eclipse. Any code debug, and you can see how this control is working, what the value is coming. So this is the way to implement your logical programming. Nobody is master here, right? So everyone is doing the practice and understanding this. Hope you can apply this concept, and you can in 1 week you can spend on one code only, right? That's it. Day by day, when your interest will come, definitely you will spend more time on this logical programming. Got it, right? So, and they have also explained all the steps also in the theory. In theory you are not able to understand, you can debug and you can write the code on your notebook. Okay, so this is very important. If you will follow this, you will not get a much time to get job. I told you, right? Out of 10 question and 5 question is your logical, and if you have done 3 logical question and you have will explain to the interviewer, that is enough for you. They want how are you able to understand the things or not. If any issue will come in your real time, are you able to resolve or not? So this thing they are looking for. Okay, so this is how to debug. You can work on the logical programming. So another question, another topic is that is called accessibility modifier. So we know already accessibility modifier, we have used this. So private, default, protected and public, these are the accessibility modifier. These are the keyword, right? So we already given the list of the keywords. So it is a keyword which define the accessibility permission. So sometimes we should not provide the access to other users. So that's why we need this accessibility modifier. Java support four level of accessibility modifier. So this is your private, means you can access within the class only. We cannot access that member to another class or outside the class. So we have a only with a package. So this is the default. If you are not giving any accessibility modifier, you can see I did not give any accessibility modifier here. So this is called your default accessibility modifier. You can see here public, main method is public, we can access anywhere, right? If you will not give this, it is a default accessibility modifier. In this default accessibility modifier, we can access within the package only, we cannot access in the another package. Got it? We cannot access the another package. So what is the package? I can show you. This is the multiple packages are there. I think here not there. I did not create a multiple package here, or basic selenium. Yeah, this is your multiple package, right? So if you have this member inside this, you can access in this package, you cannot access in another package. So this is your default accessibility modifier. So we have a one more, that is called protected. So what we can do, protected, we can access only subclass, you know only we can access the subclass in the next project or next package. Not I will tell the project, means next, this is the one project, right? So if you are using the protected, so protected subclass you can access inside this another package, only subclass. Got it, right? Subclass we can access inside this another package. Okay, so this is your let me protected. So this is the interview question. They will ask what is the difference between private, default, or they will ask what is the accessibility modifier. This is the small concept, but the interviewer will ask to you. Okay, this is your private. So same thing I have written here, just you can read one more time this theory, whatever I explained to you. And public means we can access anywhere in your project. Okay, so just you can read this, okay, this theory, so not a big deal. So again we have a coding standard. What do you meaning of coding standard? So when you are writing in the real time any code, we need to follow the coding standard. Like usually method name are either verbs or verb noun combination. Okay, so when you are writing this method, right, so just you are creating any logic. I'll tell you. Or So this thing we need to follow in the real time, okay, when you are writing the code, or if you will join any company, and you can, if you have any existing framework, definitely they are following some you know writing this. So when you are writing this, like I'm going to create a static home page, home okay, you can see I have a page like that. Got it, right? So this is your non-verb. Okay, so one word will start from your small letter and second word will start for your capital letter. If any other word will come, it will start from your capital letter only. So how you can write your method name? Same thing we can write, this is called verb. If you have a single word, simply we can use this a small word, like when you are creating, just I'm not creating this, if you are creating anything like void login, right? So this is the one name and one word is there, right? So I'm not writing another word as a capital. Have another word, we can write as a capital. Got it, right? So this thing you need to follow when you're writing the code in your real time. Okay, how to, so this is same thing like get data from Excel sheet, get info from employee, right? So like that we have to follow. Same in variable also following the same, but here we are not using parenthesis, right? In variable, when you will create the variable, you can see mobile number, right? This is variable name. If you have a single word, we can use only a small word here, right? This is your, how you can do. But here I did not mention how to write class name. So class name will start from your capital letter, okay, and again second word will start from your capital letter. So this is how you can write the class name. Got it, right? So here we can do like that. Amazon app, if I have a Amazon app home page, like that you have to do, okay, like that you have to follow this coding standard. So this is the topic was there, how to follow this coding standard. Got it, right? So variable we have done. So same, so we have another topic called members, right? So we have a static member and non-static member, right? Demo, static. Why we use a static member? So we have a static members, right? Yes. Anyone can tell me why we use the static member? Why a static member? Types of a static member. And how to create the static member, right? So by using this static keyword, right? So we know, right, we have a two types of the members, and we have a reason for giving this member as a two types, right? What is the reason? If you have a common requirement in your project, then we should go for a static member, a static member having the single copy of memory. So this main method is a static. Got it, right? Why it is the static, right? Because this is the common for execution for any classes, right? This is the common. So we have this main method having the single copy of memory. Here this main method is there. That's it. Okay. So that's why we having the one copy of memory. So it is having only one copy this memory inside this JVM. Got it, right? Inside this JVM, we don't have a, if someone will call this method, it will not create another memory. So what will happen? Our memory will not waste. This JVM, I will give you some overview of JVM architecture later. So when you have a JDK Java, inside this JDK be having the JVM JRE, right? So JVM having the one type of the software, or inside this JVM we have a how the memory is going to store inside this, right? So this JVM by default static memory is provided by the JVM. You should not provide any external memory you have to create. So that place we will use this static. You should not provide any memory, JVM will provide. So that's why we are able to access this static member from class, because class is loaded into the JVM, that time only memory will get. And or you can directly we are calling the static member. Why? Because the JVM is already provided the memory, and we should not provide any external memory. So we have a static a static int a. This is your static variable. Okay, this is your static block. This is your static block, and this is your static method. These are the static member, right? These are the static member. Oh shit, what happened? This copied from somewhere. It's not copied. Okay, so now this is your M1. M1, and this is your main method. So what you can write and what you cannot write as a class label. Sorry. So as a class label, we cannot create method. As a class label, we can create a method or block, or we can declare the variable, right? We have learned already this in the comings, and already we have learned in demo session also what you can write and what you cannot write inside this main method, right? So main method means this is your method block. In method block we cannot create like that. Got it, right? We cannot create any block level of members. Like you cannot create a static inside this main method, or you cannot create a method inside this. So this is your static variable. You can see here what the output will come if we will compile this code. So this is your static block, a static block. Okay, so what we have learned before and what we are learning now, here what the output will come. So this all the things, this concept they will use in the logical programming. So you don't have any confusion how this code is working, what you have to write, right? That is the basics concept of the Java. If you are good in the Java, then even you can, any big code are there, you can debug the code and you can understand that code yourself, the flow of the code, how this working. Got it, right? So what will happen when class is loaded into the JVM dot Java, right? This is your dot Java class, and compilation, we are not getting any error, compile time error, then it will create dot class file. This is execution. Now if we will execute this code, this will interact to, this is your byte code or machine code, it will interact to JVM, and JVM always look like where is your main method. The control will come here, but now it will check main method is there or not, but it is there. Again it will check before main method any static variable is there or not, any static block is there or not. Okay, before executing this, it will check any static variable is there or not, any static block is there or not. Okay, so before main method, it will execute a static variable and a static block. But this static variable and a static block, we having the some fluctuation, if you will create a static block here, then a static block will execute first. If you will create a static variable after this, then a static variable will execute. Then it will execute, control will come this here, this will execute, and if you will call this method m1, then this m1 will also execute. This is execution flow, how it will work. You can see now if I will execute this code, now you can see what it is executing, a static variable and main. But here this will also execute, but this b did not print this. So what I can do here, I will create one more method. I will create one more method, and this method name is int m2. This is your static variable, and this method I will store inside this. Okay, this method I will store inside this. What is the return type is int, then you have to give return type 10. So now what will happen, it will execute this m2 first, then it will execute this static block, then main method. If you will call this, then it will execute only. Okay, so you can see what the output will come now. A static variable, a static block, and main. Got it right? So a static variable, a static block, and main. So before a static before